Hi everybody, Janet Smarter Country Living, and we've got some cube steak today that we're going to put in the oven to bake. And Charlie's going to make gravy here in a little bit. But first thing we got to do is brown these in the skillet. This one's been in there a while. It's ready to turn. See how nice it looks. And here we go. We'll get one more put in there. We got butter melted in here. And I've got my pan. I've got the aluminum foil in there, and I've already sprayed it with Pam. So after we get these browned, we're going to put them in the pan here. And then we're going to put Charlie to work to make the gravy. That's his job. And so, yep, these are going to look real good. So, okay, now we're going to pause it while I'm browning these. Next thing you're going to see, they're going to be over here all browned and ready to go for Charlie to make the gravy. And these are so good. I just wish they'd go down in price a little bit. Okay, we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Good afternoon, folks. This is Charlie from Jackson County, West Virginia. I'm assisting my little camera lady right there, Janet, making this baked steak this afternoon. And it is so scrumptious. It's really tasty. It's one of our favorites. Now, what we've done, I'll just recap here for a second. She seared or browned the cube steak that's over here in this pan here waiting on us. What I'm going to do right now is I've got my same frying pan that she seared these steaks in, and we put extra butter in it. I just left the drippings from the meat in the pan. It's not a big deal, it's okay. And added the extra butter, and here's my flour. I go a little heavy on the flour, self-rising flour. Now what I'm going to do here, I like to use fresh ground pepper on mine, and when I make it, I set it on the fine setting for real fine grinds, and I put a lot of pepper in there because pepper seems to make gravy real zesty, and it tastes nice. Just jumps out at you when you eat it, and so there we go. Now got us some pepper in there, and we're good to go on that. Now ahead of time before we started videoing this, I heated up some water. 1 cup here. I use a cup, boiled it in the microwave, and I added this beef base to it. Okay, teaspoon and a half, 2 teaspoons, just to make it nice and beefy flavor and everything. Now that'll go in the gravy. That'll go in the gravy too. So I'm gonna start stirring this. It's gonna be browning on me. When you make your gravy, you want it to scorch it. So in the old days, we called it scorching your gravy, or scorching your flour. It'll turn brown for you, and you just got to keep stirring and keep an eye on it. You don't want to burn it, but you want to scorch it, and it helps give it a good flavor. That gravy a good flavor. The pan's got a round bottom, just have to excuse that. It wobbles around a little bit, but that's okay. We'll manage. We're going to get through this, and so see her. It don't take long. Oh, and you can usually smell your flour beginning to scorch on you a little bit or brown. It'll have just a teeny little bit of a burnt smell. That's what you call scorching your flour in the pan. And now that's about the cutoff point. That right there is just about the cutoff point for scorching it or browning your flour. If you want brown gravy, which we like brown gravy, and it'll be brown gravy when you scorch it like that. Plus it'll have a little extra nice taste to it. can't beat a good pan of gravy. And now these steaks are going to cook in this gravy. They're going to simmer. They're going to simmer in this gravy. When I get this pan made full of gravy, I'm going to dump it in this pan right here, and they're going to sit in that oven. Them steaks are going to sit in that oven and simmer in that gravy for an hour, and it's going to be good. So it'll all be nice. Now I'm just stirring this. You want to keep stirring. You don't want to. Once you start making your gravy, you want to turn your temperature up high enough to do the job. Or a little bit high, not sky high, but high enough to make it hot enough where your flour can brown, and a little bit. So you want to stir it, knock down the lumps as you go, a little bit like that there. And I got my pepper already in it. And after a bit, once we get our gravy, when we start making it real good, we're going to put these mushrooms in, a whole jar of mushrooms, caps and stuff, in that gravy, that mushroom gravy. And so we're on the way here, and so it shouldn't take too much more time here. Now, get her browned up here just a little bit. I'm going to add water to it. Keep me a lot of water on hand. This is a big old Jello mixing cup right here. We just use this to put water in. This next step is you want to add a lot of water to it. And if you don't want lumpy gravy or minimal lumpy gravy, go ahead and dump a whole bunch of water in it and stir continuously. Don't stop stirring. And you'll help prevent lumping so badly of your gravy, your flour here in that gravy. But that's not a big deal. A few little lumps, they'll usually melt, disperse, but don't worry about a little detail like that. Hey, I was raised on, well, maybe I shouldn't say it. My mom made the gravy and mashed potatoes, but sometimes they had little lumps in them. I liked it. Gives you something to chew on. So we're doing all right. There we go. We're just about there. Our flour is doing a good job for us here. But you want to stir. You want to stir a lot. Don't neglect your gravy. If you do, you might mess up your batch. You gotta keep up with it, especially when you're browning it like this. And once it starts cooking in the pan, you want to stir constantly. You don't want it to burn to the bottom of the pan neither. So a good pan of gravy can make or break your meal. So you got to stay right in there with it. Make it good. Gooder the better.
You want me to pause it for a little bit?
I'll tell you what. Well, and I'm going to add. Yeah, go ahead. We're going to pause this just for a minute, and when I get it browned enough, we'll be right back. Okay. Okay, folks, we're back, and my flour is browned. Look at that. So come in on here, there, for a tight shot. See that there? Okay, that's plenty good right there. Now what I'm going to do is add a whole bunch of water to that. It's going to sizzle now. Okay. Now you want to stir. Just like there's no end to it. Stir. Just stir. See that now? It's soaking up all the water. I gotta have more. Okay, here we go. Add some more to it. Now you want to stir. Just stir the daylights out of it until you get that creamy looking. It'll turn like a creamy looking texture. That flour is going to absorb a lot of that water that you put in there, and you have to just kind of keep up with it because you don't want it to get too pasty on you. You want to keep it liquidy where you can work with it. Add some more water. There you go. It's going to be a big pan of gravy to fill up this pan over here to cook these steaks in. So I like to put extra flour in it and stuff, and have a nice big pan of gravy. Plus, you can put it on your mashed potatoes too. It's good on mashed potatoes.
You ready to put your base in there yet?
Not yet. Well, just a minute. I will here. Let me finish putting some more water in first. Okay, that's about the end on that. Now I'm going to stir this. Let me have this little spoon. Excuse me a second here. I'm going to stir my base up just a little bit more so it settles out on you. It's real beef. It's real beef base. Now I'm going to put that in here. This enhances the flavor tremendously of the whole dinner, the whole gravy experience. And so see that there? That's that gravy mix I put in there. That base, that beef base, it gives it a nice beef taste to start out with. And it adds to just adds to the whole flavor of the baked steak dinner. Your nice gravy does. Like I said, just stay with it. Don't you gotta stay with it. Don't leave the stove for nothing unless you go real fast, go get something. And I'm gonna get some milk. I put a little milk in my gravy. I like to add a little milk to it. Oh, here, tell you what, while we're sitting here handy, go ahead and add the mushrooms. So let me get this little spoon right here. We'll put them in there. Okay, whoops, get out of there. There we go. Now we got the mushrooms in. Just stir them things in there. I might have some water. Let me get some more. I'm gonna get a little more water because I got a big pan of gravy. That'll do it. Add a little more water. You just tweak a little more water in there as needed. You don't have to go too overboard with it. Just enough to keep your mixture nice and runny like that. Just like gravy's supposed to look. And this is going to be good. This is going to be real nice. Stir all your mushrooms in nicely and everything. And all that fresh ground black pepper and everything. And that beef base. Talk about good. It's going to be nice. And I want you to try this someday. You get a chance to, and you know, just for a special occasion, evening meal or Sunday dinner or something like that. And it'd be nice to try sometime. It don't take that long. This cube steak's only got to cook 1 hour.
Ready for your milk?
Oh, milk, yeah. I gotta go get my milk. Stand by. Add a little milk to it. Cream it a little bit. There we go. Oh, just kind of guess at that. I'll just add some to it. And there we go. I made tons of this stuff. I mean, I'm the gravy maker around the house. We used to do sausage gravy and biscuits this way a long time ago, until they got fancy and started putting gravy mix in boxes. Taze Valley, or where we live at, there's a company in Putnam County called Taze Valley, and they make all kinds of mixes, pancake mixes, gravy mixes. Oh my gosh, they got tons of things that they make, and ship it to all the big stores and stuff, Kroger's. And by the way, you can get that Taze Valley mix at Kroger store. Well, Sam's Club used to carry it, but they don't carry it anymore. For some reason, they stopped carrying it.
Walmart has it.
Walmart has it too. Yeah, we get it whichever place we happen to be in at the time. Now the gravy is coming right along here nicely, real good, real good. And excuse me if I splatter a little bit out once in a while. That's just me. I get a little carried away with my little handy dandy wooden stirring spoon. Now that milk cooled it all down, see. The milk I put in there was ice cold out of the refrigerator, and it cooled the whole pan down a little bit. So we'll wait till she heats back up here and comes to another boil, and I'll see where we're at with it. When I think it's about time to dump it into my baking pan over here on top of the steaks. You want to make sure you cover these steaks up. Cover these cube steaks plumb up so they can all be submerged under that nice gravy boiling and bubbling in that oven at 350 degrees for 1 hour. So tell you what we'll do, we'll pause it here just for a minute and be right back when we're about ready to dump this into the pan, okay? Okay, we're back. Got my gravy made. Look at that, nice how pretty it is. And hardly any lumps whatsoever. It's real smooth gravy. Now what we're gonna do, I turned the heat off the stove there. I'm going on the top burners. I'm gonna put this gravy right in on top of this and on top of those steaks right there. Now watch this. See here? Here's how you do it. You just dump it right on there. Just put it all over the place, just like that. And it covers them all up real good. And get my handy dandy little wooden spoon there. That's what you're supposed to use on it's legal to use these on non-stick frying pans. This frying pan's old-timey anyway. It's got a hump in the bottom. It rocks and rolls. Oh goodness. So I like to scrape what I can out of here, so it won't be so much to go down the drain in the sink. Yeah, we're getting there. It won't take that long. Just the gravy, you got to do your gravy right. It's probably the most time-consuming part of the whole gravy making process here, and or the steak cooking process. Now, I think what I'm going to do here. Here's what we're going to do. Now, I've got the gravy in the pan. I'm going to turn this over to Janet, the little camera lady right there, for a few minutes, and she's going to do a few odds and ends, a couple more little steps to these steaks while they're in the pan before we put them in the oven. And we'll use this too for a lid. So, okay, be right back.
I'm back now. Now what we got to do is float these. Just make sure that they're not stuck to the bottom.
Floating them means you got gravy underneath the bottom of them, so that they won't stick to the pan. That's called floating them.
Need to have a, partner when you're making this, so y'all can take turns doing things, just like we do.
You just lift them up.
Okay.
Just lift them up like Janet's doing right there.
They're floating now.
and just float them right on that gravy underneath them. Makes them nice.
Now what we're going to do is cover it up with foil. I used to do this in a glass dish, but it was so heavy. Oh my gosh. Glass dish is big, it's very heavy. So I started putting it in this. This is a cake pan where you can make like wedding cakes and stuff in. And it's a lot lighter. Okay. Now we're going to cover this up. Well, you might have to cover it up that way, right? Okay. I'm going to cover this up and put it in the oven. Crimp down the sides there. Let's get another one here. We're going to put this in the oven for an hour at 350, and it's going to be ready to eat. So we'll be back when it's ready to eat.
Okay, folks, we're back. The baked steak is all finished. It's been an hour, a little better than an hour in the oven baking. And we got the table set here. Here's our nice big plate, pan of this wonderful baked steak. Now just take one look at that. Now what do you think about that? Ain't that pretty? And all that delicious gravy, it simmered in that for an hour or better, a little bit better than an hour, about an hour and 10 minutes. And those things, I'm going to show you how tender they are here in just a little bit when I get my plate fixed up with some stuff on it. And we've got deers running like crazy across our backyard.
I almost caught them. They beat me to it.
Yeah,
okay.
They just took off running. I guess they heard me talking. So anyway, be back in just a jiffy, okay? Wow, that's good. Hello there, folks. We're back. And we got our table set for our Sunday dinner. And first off, I want to show you something here before I get into my baked steak platter here. Janet made these wonderful deviled eggs. There's people said they've tasted these are the best. They've never tasted any deviled eggs better than these. She will be putting a link to the recipe at the end of this movie or this video, how you make her nice deviled eggs. Those are really good deviled eggs. Everybody that's ever tasted them said they're just phenomenal. Now, here's our finished product. We've got our baked steak in that pan right there. Here's mine on my plate. It's been cooling down here for a couple minutes. And I'm gonna try this out. Just to tell you how it is. My mashed potatoes and green beans. Oh wow. Man, that's good. That's some good eating, folks. And let me tell you something. It's so tender. Let me show you something. Just a spoon. I brought this soup spoon to the table on purpose. I'm going to show you how tender these steaks are. Watch this. Now, there I go. Watch that. Look how easy that cut. That was easy. And I ain't gonna let that bite go waste. And I've got took time here and while the steak was cooking, fixed up some nice radishes. Radishes are healthy food. And some cucumbers. I put ice cubes. Those are little ice cubes on top of my cucumbers and vinegar and water. Vinegar, a little bit of vinegar and some water in there. Apple cider vinegar, the red kind. I like a little vinegar with my cucumbers. I put ice on them to keep them cold. And so we're all set to go here. I'm gonna quit talking so much now and enjoy the rest of my dinner while everybody else is coming to the table to eat. So listen, have y'all self, everyone out there, have yourself just a wonderful Sunday evening, and take good care until next time we get a chance to meet again. Charlie and Janet from Jackson County, West Virginia. Take care now. Bye-bye.